Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle, and today we are here to read a notorious fanfiction of epic proportions. Fanfiction, on the whole, has a tendency to be incredibly weird, mostly because half of any given fandom is high on crack and or insomnia at the same time. But while some of those are purposefully weird, and some are not, this one takes the friggin' cake. It's a Legend of Zelda fiction entitled My Inner Life. It's about a girl who apparently has lucid dreams, and dreams about a second life she has with Link from The Legend of Zelda. I guess, without further ado, by Link's Queen, My Inner Life. Please do note, though, that most of the fanfiction I read is trollfic. This one is not, as far as I'm aware. So I'm going to try to go a little bit low on the criticism, but we'll see what happens. I might just get so fed up that it doesn't really matter. So, be polite in the comments, please. Someone did work really hard on this, although it was probably 10, 15 years ago that she wrote this. Hopefully she's matured a little bit by now, and hopefully does not care. But, we shall see. So, here's the introduction I'm going to read today. Wonderful. Author's notes. Hello! Thank you for choosing to read my story. As you might know, I have become a major Zelda fan in the last year. Ever since I played Ocarina of Time, I have grown a fond interest in Link. I started to notice that after I got into it. I found that I have a strange gift, a gift to lucid dream. I started having dreams about Hyrule and about Link. In a lucid dream, you can control your dreams. The dreams became very real, kind of like a second life, and almost every night I would have another, starting from where the last left off. Even to this day, I still have them. I find that they help me get through life. I know this may sound queer, but for me, my dreams sure help me out. I've shared the story with many other people, and so far, all has liked it. Now, as you read this, it is told from my perspective or first-person view. You will find that it is very detailed, since I remember it all very clearly to this day. The story takes place after Ocarina of Time. Nothing after that ever happens. No Majora's Mask, no Link to the Past, or even Oracle of Ages and Seasons. And there is no love relation between Link and Zelda, Link and Rutu, Link and Malink. Damn it! That's my pairing. Malink all the way. Or Link and Saria. Because of my feelings for Link, the person he gets involved with in this story is myself, or actually is my persona. At least she admits she's a Mary Sue. Thank you. Or at least a self-insert. Maybe not a Mary Sue, but a self-insert, at the very least. A persona is, for those of you who need to know, a representation of one's personality, or in dictionary terms is persona, noun, in biology same as person. So for all you future readers, this story is based on Jenna, a char that is a representation of my personality. But if you think this might be too queer, then you shouldn't read this. Fair warning. This is not the type of story for those of you that dislike or cannot handle such material as the content of this story. But if you seriously believe you can handle the content of the story, then read on. If you're squeamish about sex, then you should not read this, since the story is a real lemon, and there is a lot of that, heavily detailed, between Link and I, that is. Especially during the bonding ceremony. There is also some blood content and some adult language, so if that's too much for you, then you should turn back now. Look at that, I don't even need to make a warning, she makes one right for me, that's amazing. Now I have not finished it as of yet, and it was never finished. I have to catch up since the last dream I had was just after Link and I had the blessing ceremony for our twins, our third and fourth kids. Right now, there's about 100 to 150 pages worth. I'm expecting it to reach 300 to 350, probably even more. This is a frickin' long fanfiction. I will try to update as often as possible. I hope that some of you like this. I do not mind sharing it, but please understand that this is very precious to me, as well as Link. Link in your head. Is that a real Link? So like I said, if the content of the story sounds too queer to you, turn back now. But to all who wish to continue, happy reading. Thanks, Link's Queen. As I said, it's very precious to her. Keep in mind, this is also made somewhere between 10 and 15 years ago, which probably means that she really doesn't care anymore. But if she still happens to care, I'm going to try to go a little lightly on the criticism, but we'll see what happens. Rated R for strong adult language, sex, violence, and blood content. Again, as a final warning, and this is in all caps, this story contains heavy sex, adult language, and talks about my personal encounter with Link. This story is based on dreams about my life with him. If you find the content of the story to be offensive, queer, or plain out of the wall, off the wall, then do not read on. I have gotten way too many flames about the content of the story when I have placed several warnings. I will not accept any more flames, ramblings, cussing, or excessive lashing out against the charred Jenna, or reviews about the content of this story, excessive lashing out, vicious attacks against my personality, or non-mature constructive criticism. Any reviews submitted that do not follow the above guidelines will be deleted immediately. These warnings are not there to look pretty. The authors place warnings for a reason. It is to tell you what the content of the story is, so that if the reader finds the content of the story offensive, they will not read on. Many authors have been complaining about unwanted, excessive, violent, and just plain nasty reviews that have been submitted by readers about their stories, causing fanfiction to grant authors the ability to delete unwanted reviews and block certain readers. I will say this for myself and for all authors on fanfiction. No author twists your arm or holds you at gunpoint or forces you in any way, shape, or form to read their stories. All readers have the right not to read a certain story. If your responsibility is to read the warnings and decide for yourself if the content of the story is offensive to you and to make the choice to read on or not. And it also is the reader's responsibility to take responsibility on how they handle themselves when leaving a review for the author. Leaving a review that is violent in nature only makes the reader look bad and is very immature. If all of us here are supposed to be adults, well then let's conduct ourselves like adults and not like little kids. I only expect the violent lashing out and vicious attacks to come from teenagers, not adults. If you people really are adults that are conducting yourselves in the manners I described above, you people are really all scaring me. That is a lot of responsibilities. It's a damn shame to know that there are adults out there who cannot conduct themselves in the simplest manners their parents have taught them. Also, leaving malicious reviews is also a sign of low self-esteem. If all you people know how do is attack someone viciously, it's a sign of selfishness and no respect for oneself. I suggest all readers who are thinking about leaving a malicious review for me, please get a hobby and learn to control your anger because you're only hurting yourself, not me. Also, leaving a nasty review only makes you look stupid, not me. Well, now I'm feeling bad. I find it very ridiculous that I had to leave a warning this long, but it is because of the very immature readers that have submitted nasty, childish reviews. Again, please read the above context before reading on. Wow. There's still more. There's still more in the intro. There's a lot in the intro. So yeah, bear with me. She seems, I mean, I haven't read this yet. She seems like a pretty level-headed person. But then again, she lucid dreams about Link and has a lot of sex with him, so we'll see! Not that having sex with a person is bad, but writing about it on the internet is a little weird. Furthermore, I realized that the story needs some heavy grammar corrections and that the plot needs some work. Also, under the advisement of my friend, who had just recently completed 2 literature classes, has stated the reasons why people had classified Jenna as a Mary Sue Char and labeled her as flat. She has come to the conclusion that most people do not know or understand Jenna's history, and so she has advised me to create an origin story to explain about her history before she met Link. That way she will become more rounded and give people a reason to care about her. It was never in my intentions to create Jenna as a Mary Sue Char or to make her conceited, because I'm not really like that. Jenna is a persona Char, one that resembles my personality while the story is being told from her perspective. As you can tell, the use of the word Char is no longer in the internet's vocabulary. This is very old. The story is not something that I pulled out of my head like my drawings. It came from my dreams. So I understand that revising the story is going to be hard work and will take time. Since the story is being told in the exact or close to exact order it happened in the dreams, changing how fast Link and Jenna marry isn't going to be easy. Even changing how fast they have sex and revising the lemon parts also won't be easy to do. But I'm currently in the process of revising the story. Also, I received a college grammar book from my friend, and I will be investing in a beta reader. I'm also considering taking a literature class at JC to help boost my writing skills. But now, like a mature adult, I'm telling you that it is a proven fact that negative motivation never motivates someone to change. It never has, and it never will. I'm pretty sure your parents have taught you that people only respond to positive motivations and not negative. I'm not closed-minded, I never have been. I've always been open to other people's thoughts and opinions. It's when it's done in an appropriate manner that I turn my nose at it and look away. People have to understand that when you're an adult, you need to conduct yourself like one and learn how to address other people like one. You cannot just act childish when you come across something that you do not approve of. You're only making yourself look bad, not going to affect you on later in life. Acting childish and ranting and raving is something I'd expect a little kid would do when he doesn't get his way. When an adult acts childish over stupid things that's looked down upon and considered to be unhealthy, I've seen far too many reviews left for me where the reviewers are just ranting and raving like little kids over the story because they do not like it. It is only making them look stupid and it's very unhealthy. I fear that these people have some serious emotional problems if they do get that upset over a story. People in control of their emotions and have also obtained some sort of common sense never let little things get them all riled up. Ah, that's funny! Was OCD not a thing back then? Because I totally get worked up over the littlest shit. Yeah. I guess I need some help then, according to her. Well then. It is very sad when one that is supposed to be an adult cannot handle themselves like one. You do realize that this is fan fiction. Almost no one over the age of 15 writes fan fiction. Well, I didn't say that. Most people do not write fan fiction over the age of 15. I used to write fan fiction. Now I just make fun of it. Actually, I do still kind of write fan fiction, but I don't publish it. Shh, shut up. As a side note. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Yes, okay. I was never angry with the reviewers, not liking the story. It's how they handled themselves when leaving me the reviews. Getting riled up, ranting and raving, screaming, and splitting nails over the story is what has caused me to get upset, not the fact that they don't like it. Also, as a side note, I never physically hurt anyone with this story. I got one reviewer that said, "Oh God, please stop writing, you're hurting everyone." Now I want to know where I physically touched that. Oh, okay, here we go into the rant. We're ranting now. You talk about people not ranting, and now you're ranting. Oh, wonderful. I want to know how Now, I want to know where I physically touched that person. I want to know how I'm twisting anyone's arms to read this. I've never done anything of the sort in any way, shape, or form, and I do not appreciate being accused of that. If you're emotionally hurt over this, it's your fault, not mine. I'm sorry if I did, but I placed several warnings describing the content of this story, and if you know what it contains and you do not like this type of material, then why are you reading it? I do not appreciate getting accused for other people's actions. They're reading it because it's so bad. It's the so bad it's good theory. You can look that up on TV tropes. It is your choice as the reader to read the content of the story, and it is not my fault it upsets you when you knew from the get-go what it contained. So please do not flame me about it. I also feel like a school teacher teaching a bunch of little kids, and I find that this really wasn't necessary and shouldn't have had to come to this, but it is very hard when your reviewers have forgotten how to conduct themselves like adults. You said conduct themselves like adults about 5 times. Seriously, you are ranting now. You talk about people not ranting, and now you're ranting. If you honestly think that being malicious is a good thing and that you're not wrong in doing so, well then you're blinded by your own selfish pride. People with common sense learn how to take responsibility for themselves and are able to admit when they're wrong. I found that many of the reviewers that have left me malicious reviews honestly believe that it's appropriate behavior for an adult, when it really is that they are too self-absorbed in themselves to admit they're wrong. Again, that results from selfish pride. One, too scared to admit in front of others that they just might be wrong. Also, how can any of you hold any right to call Jenna conceited when in reality you're contradicting yourselves by being conceited as well? How are you being conceited? You're just leaving a review that say don't like the story. I'm sure there. Okay. Let me stop, and I'm gonna rant for a second. There are a lot of people who leave nasty reviews on the internet. This is very true. There are also a lot of people who leave polite, if, you know, your story sucks reviews. I usually don't comment when I think a story sucks. But there are some people who say, hey, yo, I honestly want to help you get this story better. Let me tell you some things that you're kind of doing wrong, and let me tell you how to improve them. I'm not sure what percentage of the reviews she got were flames or were constructive criticism. I kind of get the feeling, though, that she considers even constructive criticism flames, because she's talking about these people being conceited, but she's really actually being conceited by leaving this huge, long message. Getting back to, what it is. Being conceited is again selfish pride and being self-absorbed, and yes it is, and always will be a fact that most of the reviewers have been conceited and very contradictive. Please do not leave me a review that only contradicts what you're trying to preach. You should in reality take your own advice. You should in reality take your own advice. Again, I find it very ridiculous that this had to be as long as it is, but it is due to the fact that people not conducting themselves appropriately. And if I do receive any more malicious reviews with screaming, splitting nails, or ranting and raving over the story because you do not like it, then you are too self-absorbed to admit that acting like that is wrong. Well, then you have proven my point. All of this is very self-explanatory. Now, please do not read on if you do not plan on leaving me a review appropriately. You sound just like Tara, except you said it more eloquently. Okay. That was the intro! Next time we're actually going to get into the story, because she talks about, you know, people not ranting at her, and then she goes on and has a huge, like, 1,000-word rant. Woo! See y'all next time.